Paul of Tarsus, ready for you on it. Go ahead and have a seat. Nice to meet you. Okay. I'm looking at my paperwork here, and I see that, oh, well, by the way, welcome to the Good News Employment Agency. It's glad to have you here. You are interviewing for the apostle position, okay? And you also go by the name of Saul, okay? Well, my boss is having me talk to our prospective candidates to give my recommendations first. So let's start by having you tell me, why do you want this job?
Well, first of all, I believe now with all my heart that Jesus is the Son of God, and I really just want to bring his message to others.
That's a very good answer. Very enthusiastic and eager. My boss really likes a go-getter attitude. So, but now tell me a little bit about your background experience. I see you made tents. Besides making tents, what else did you do prior to applying for this position?
Well, that's like a little complicated. So basically, I was trained as a Pharisee, and I zealously persecuted the Christians.
Excuse me? Did I hear you right? Did you say you persecuted Christians? And you did so zealously?
Yes, but let me explain.
Okay.
I thought I was doing the right thing, but Jesus appeared to me on the road to Damascus, and he blinded me for 3 days and showed me the error of my ways. I was baptized and forgave me. And I decided to tell others about the good news and about the Messiah and everything.
Okay, well, that does sound like something my boss would do to get someone's attention. Always forgiving, yeah. Always forgiving. Still, this kind of background is going to cause some major trust issues. You do realize you're supposed to talk to Christians and you persecuted them. I'm just not sure about major trust issues. I think you know that already. Maybe there's a solution, but it's going to be quite tricky. So, what about travel? This job requires travel. Are you good with that?
Yeah, I don't mind a little travel every now and then.
At what point did I say little travel? No. There's going to be a lot of travel with this job. You see here, we are going to have you go here, and here, and then we'll probably send you here, and here, and then you're going to go here, and here, and then all the way over here. So, quite a bit of travel. Can you handle that?
I think I can handle that. I just really want to spread the news about Jesus and all of his message and everything.
Okay, so you think you can handle that, but what about hardships?
What do you mean by hardships?
Well, you know, like jealous and angry mobs, hunger, being thrown out of town, beatings, stonings, snake bites, illness, dark, dank prisons, you know, that sort of thing. What about that?
Yeah, I guess as long as I'm spreading the news of God.
Okay, good. What about boats? How do you feel about nautical travel?
Yeah, boats are alright. I can travel with a boat.
Okay, well, what if said boat happens to crash in a storm? Would that make you more or less likely to take this job?
Well, that wouldn't be ideal, but I know that God will take care of me.
Okay. What about 3 times?
What do you mean 3 times?
I mean being shipwrecked 3 times.
Again, that's not ideal, but God will take care of me if I'm doing his will. If that's what needs to happen, then so be it.
Okay. What about going through all of this alone? Travel alone, prison alone, beaten alone, shipwreck alone, all by your lonesome. You can handle that.
Well, I'm never alone when God is with me.
My, you are a determined little fellow, aren't you? Well, besides being so determined, what other strengths do you have?
My strength, I'm not afraid to speak boldly about the truth of Jesus. That's one, especially to strangers.
Okay. Well, what about your weaknesses?
Some people say I have a strong personality. Sometimes I'm not very patient with people. There also is that like whole thorn in the flesh thing that flares up from time to time.
Okay, well, I'll make a note of that. Now, how do you feel about Gentiles?
Well, all people need to hear the good news of Christ. And they're people too.
That's a good answer. Refreshing, actually. That question usually trips people up. Okay, well, I think that covers it. The persecution thing is a bit tricky, but we'll see what my boss says. Go ahead and have a seat while I interview the other candidates.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There's so much talk.
Okay, Barnabas, I'm ready for you. Nice to meet you. Go ahead and have a seat. Okay, Barnabas, I see from your application that you are from Cyprus and you also spent time in Jerusalem and Antioch. Okay, that's good. Can relate to many. Okay, now, I just spoke with a man named Paul. Maybe you met him in the waiting room. He kind of has a messy background of persecuting Christians, but he says that he's completely changed. I'm told that you were a witness to this change. What are your thoughts?
Yes, I can say without a doubt that he is genuine, and that it's not a trick to get people to identify as a Christian so he can persecute them again. He really did have a change of heart, and I think it's going to be very effective in spreading the good news. And I must say that I really appreciate the work you are doing to take the time to put the right people in this job. Paul will be an excellent addition to your team.
Quite the encourager, aren't you? Okay, well, you would think you were interviewing for Paul's position and not yourself. That's an admirable quality. Okay, so big question here. How do you feel about sharing the good news with Gentiles?
Gentiles are not Jews, so not really God's people. So I'm not sure why you're asking that question. I'm sure they're able to understand, maybe if they learn to be Jewish.
Yeah, tricky question. That usually trips people up. Okay, well, what strengths do you have that will help with this job?
I'm good with giving up my possessions if that helps the cause of the apostles. I've been told I'm a good encourager. My name is actually Joseph, but the apostles gave me the nickname Barnabas, which means son of encourager.
I can see that. That's an appropriate nickname. Sounds good. Well, I might need to work on your attitude toward Gentiles, but that can be fixed with time. Okay, you may go back to the waiting room while I talk things over with my boss. Thank you. Okay, gentlemen, I just gave my recommendations, and despite some of my reservations, my boss has come to a decision. You are all hired. However, instead of sending you out alone as we originally thought, my boss thinks that it'd be best if we, as he put it, that you're better together. So Paul and Barnabas, you'll be paired up together for this first journey. Paul, you're to speak the message boldly to both Jews and Gentiles. Barnabas, you can learn a thing or two from Paul about accepting the Gentiles and as God's people. And we're really going to need your help with his trust issues. You know, you're speaking to Christians, and I don't know if they're really going to trust them, but you're such a good encourager. I think you can maybe, help them see and that you can be trustworthy. Okay, so at various times during this job, you're going to be joined by two other men that I've talked to, one right here, and the other is John Mark. John Mark is a little young, he's got potential if given enough time. He's a possible good writer, a little skittish, he does tend to flee and disappear, like I don't know where he went. Not sure why, but like I said, he's young and has potential. He was sitting here a minute ago, I really don't know where he went.
Right there.
He'll turn up. No, that's Silas. So Silas, who's sitting here so quietly, he's a Roman. He has experience as a leader, a church leader. He's good at writing things down. Good singer too, especially in depressing situations, which is going to come in handy. I hear the acoustics in prisons are quite nice, so that might be good. He'll make a good travel companion for you both. So, do you all accept this job? Okay, good. Congratulations. I pray God's guidance and peace as you take on this very important but dangerous mission. I'm sorry, but the pay isn't very good. In fact, really you don't get paid anything. The benefits package is also not so great. No health insurance or housing allowances. You will kind of need to fend for yourself, basically. But I can offer you a place in heaven, which I don't think there's any other employer that could offer that to you. So that's a pretty good trade-off, I must say. So glad to have you all on board. Thank you for your time.